first time ever because I was supposed to do a workshop on how to set healthy boundaries on Insight Timer, and unfortunately, I got the time wrong. So I set it thinking that I had set it for this time, but I set it for like an hour ago or 2 hours ago. So obviously, I missed it, and I can't do it now. So I thought, well, since I had the content prepared and I really enjoy doing these live sessions, let me just pop in YouTube and see who's there. And if not, the video will stay there for anyone who wants to watch later. So yeah, so actually it's a good excuse for me to, I've been thinking about doing more YouTube lives for a while. So this has been a good excuse for me to, like a kick in the ass, to really do it. So let me know, guys, if you are watching. I hope everything is okay with sound and video. And yeah, let me know, say hi, let me know where you're joining from, and let me know if you have any questions as we go. I think I know where I would be seeing your questions or comments. So yeah, let's get started. So today I'm going to be talking about how to set healthy boundaries so you can reclaim your life, so you can feel more in your power. This topic is very common in the work I do. And for the people, if it's your first time here, let me first introduce myself. My name is Verónica Moreno. I am a mindset coach specializing in women's confidence and empowerment. And my passion is to help them to break free from past conditioning and to reclaim that power so they can create the life they truly desire. And this channel is all about sharing with you my most powerful techniques, the energetic techniques and the subconscious mind reprogramming techniques that will help you achieve the healing and the transformation that you are looking for. And in the work I do, a very common problem I see is that people don't know how to say no. And they always want to please others. And this happens because maybe you didn't learn how to say no. Maybe you learned that your needs weren't important, that to be safe, you had to keep others happy. And then what you learned was a program to always be pleasing people, to always be prioritizing other people's needs, even before your own, even to the risk or to the point of just burning out and feeling frustrated. So setting boundaries is something really, really important, because when the choice of helping someone or being available for someone comes from love, that is really beautiful. That is really beautiful. It's an act of kindness and compassion, and we need more of that in the world. Now, when being there for someone or saying yes to someone's demand or going to someone's event or helping someone, when it comes from fear or from a survival mechanism, or maybe from the belief that you are not important, that you are less important than them, that their priorities are more important than yours, and that you should keep them happy. When it comes from one of those survival mechanisms, it's not only going to make you resentful, not only you're going to feel frustrated and like you're always giving, not only that, but you're going to attract more of those people because they perceive it, they can sense the energy. Right? So if you're one of those people who always give and have a feeling that they never receive enough in return, or you feel that always attract people who really drain your energy, that are very needy, very demanding, you probably see that you keep attracting more and more of those people. Because if that's the belief you have, that other people's needs are more important than yours, that you have to please other people to stay safe, they detect that. What we say consciously is a tiny part of our communication. Our body language and our energy say a lot more than our spoken words. So maybe you try consciously to say no. Maybe you try to say, or to say that you're not available, or you're trying to protect yourself. But very likely what they're sensing is that you're a good hook and that you're a good person to go to and that you're going to say yes to anything they need. The problem with this is that when you say yes to something that is not in your highest interest, or to helping someone but not from a source or from a position of love, when you say yes to that, what you're saying no to is to yourself. So in today's talk, I want to share with you, I'm going to help you identify any areas where you might need to set boundaries, any stoppers, anything that might be stopping you from setting those boundaries, how to put that into practice in a way that feels easy, that you don't feel guilty, and that it doesn't go against any beliefs. And I'm going to be talking as well about how to have that balance between being in your power and not being taken advantage of, not being walked over, not being drained, but also having that kindness, that kind heart, and being there for the loved ones from a position of love when you feel that that's what you need to do. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions, if there is anything in particular that you're struggling with that you would like me to cover before we go into the details. So the first thing I'm going to invite you today to do today is to close your eyes if that feels right, or maybe to soften your gaze. And if you have pen and paper handy, you can grab pen and paper and do some journaling for self-reflection. Anything that feels good for you. But I'm going to invite you to reflect on any areas of your life where you feel that you could do with setting some boundaries. And this could be, for example, at work. Maybe you are the person who always takes on other people's jobs because they don't do a proper job, and then you feel like you have to take responsibility for that. Maybe you are the person the manager always goes to and say, oh, can you stay a bit later today? And you don't know how to say no, but you would like to because you have a life and you don't want to spend 24/7 in the office. It could be a relationship. It could be a romantic relationship. It could be a partner that is very demanding, that is very draining. And you might feel that you're giving too much. And maybe you feel like it would be good to set some boundaries, or express yourself, or express your needs as well, or having more of a balance. It could be a family member. It could be a friend. One of those people who always call you late at night and want to talk for hours and just throw all their negativity at you, and you put down the phone and you feel absolutely drained. You're like, oh my God, I had my problems from the day, and now I have this person throwing all this negativity and all this terrible energy at me, and now I feel even worse. And this really had a negative impact on me. And not only I feel resentful and I feel bad, but the other person is never going to get enough and is going to just keep coming back again and again. So just think about one area, or maybe one person in particular, where you feel like you could do with setting some boundaries. And just write down about it. And just reflect a little bit on what type of boundaries what you like to set. Well, I would like to say, no, I'm not staying late in the office more than this time. Or no, mom, boyfriend, best friend, I'm not taking calls from you at 9 p.m. to go to bed with a terrible energy. Or no, I'm not going to this event, whatever that is. Just imagine it, just visualize it. And now what I'm going to invite you to do is to just pay attention to any resistance that might be coming up in the body, the inner voices, any parts of you that might not agree, any physical sensations or reactions in the body, and see what happens. And just write down or bring to awareness whatever comes to mind first. Don't try to think if it makes logical sense or not. It doesn't matter. We're just trying to understand the resistance and the stoppers to set those healthy boundaries. And I'm sure there are some very interesting things coming up already. If you're watching the recording, please feel free to, of course, pause the video and take your time to do some self-reflection on this. It's probably worth you spending a bit more time so you can uncover any as many hidden blocks as possible. And now what I'm going to ask you to do is, if if any beliefs or any parts of yourself or any, an inner voice came doing something, or maybe you just felt very tense in the body, the stomach, the throat, whatever. What I'm going to invite you to do, what I'm going to ask you is, when did you learn this? When did you decide this? So if, for example, you're thinking about not answering your friend's call every time she has a crisis with her new boyfriend, which seems to be 3 times a week, if you saw yourself saying, no, I'm not available today, can we talk later? Can we talk tomorrow? Can we talk over the weekend? Or just not replying to a message, just disconnecting the phone and saying, I'll come back to you tomorrow. I'm not available today, but I'll come back to you tomorrow. See what was triggered there. Maybe the first thing that came was, oh, but poo her. She needs me. I need to save her. I cannot not reply to this message. I have to take this call. Okay. Says who? Who says, or when did you decide that you had to take that call? When did you decide? When did you learn? Who told you that you had to reply to that message, that you could not just not reply to that message or say, no, I will be available later? Or what emotions get triggered? Because very often what happens, and if you heard about the drama triangle and the roles we sometimes take on, the rescuer, victim, and persecutor, sometimes what happens is that we see that someone needs help, and we might perceive that they're feeling sad or abandoned or lost or angry, whatever. And those emotions get triggered in ourselves. So maybe we get sad, we get angry, we are triggered, that feeling of being abandoned, we get triggered. And because that is uncomfortable within us, the way to disconnect from it is, right, okay, let me rescue the other person. And this happens a lot. Sometimes it is a program. It could be a belief about your needs not being important, other people's needs being more important than yours, being a priority, always have to be pleasing others. But sometimes the reason can be that your own unresolved emotions get triggered when you see someone else, and then you feel the urge to rescue them. And again, when helping someone comes from a position of love, if your friend, your mom, your boyfriend, your boss, if they're asking for a favor and you are in a position and you are available physically, emotionally, mentally available, it's great to give someone a hand. It's amazing. It's an act of kindness and compassion and love. Wonderful. So if you say yes to someone out of love, that is really beautiful. But what you need to ask yourself is, am I saying yes to this out of love and kindness? Or am I saying yes to this out of a belief, being triggered, having learned that I am not important? So there is a lot of self-reflection to do here, but hopefully we are uncovering this already, and maybe you have identified some beliefs, some patterns, some triggers already. Great. Welcome them. Welcome them. That is great, because if you are becoming aware of them, it means they are ready to be let go of. They are ready to be transmuted. So when you have a list of those, I would love to invite you to watch some of my other videos on how to reprogram your subconscious mind, how to break free from past conditioning, how to break free from the past to create your future life. This is a topic that I cover again and again and again in this channel. So feel free to go to the channel and have a look at more videos, because this is the way you are really going to resolve this, and how you're going to be able to be more in your power and set healthy boundaries. And this is huge. This is huge. Now, I'm going to be sharing some practical tips when it comes to setting boundaries and being more in your power. But this deep work, this reprogramming yourself, your beliefs, and healing whatever needs to be healed from the past that is getting triggered is the only way you're really going to achieve deep and long-lasting transformation, and it's going to allow you to say no with confidence and joy, without feeling guilty, without feeling bad. Because if someone is taking advantage of you again and again and again, you're not a bad person for saying no. And this is, again, a very common belief. Oh, if I say no at work, I am a bad person. If I don't answer these calls, I'm going to be a bad person. I'm going to be a bad daughter. I'm going to be a bad sister, a bad friend, a bad girlfriend. The list never ends. So we have to break and rewrite those stories and those beliefs in order to set healthy boundaries. So in terms of practical tips, I always say that there needs to be a balance. So imagine a scale, and this extreme is never setting boundaries, always saying yes to everything, even though you know it's frustrating and you don't feel good and it doesn't come from a good place. And this point is having so many boundaries that you only think about yourself, and not even for 1 second you think about someone else maybe having a need or having empathy, right? So neither of these extremes are good. Extremes are never good in general, but neither of these ends of the scale are good. Ideally we want to have a balance. We want to have a balance where we are not taken advantage of, where we are not walked over, when we are not being drained, but also we can't go to the other extreme and build like a castle, like a fortress around you, and build lots of barriers and become a selfish, careless person, because then that's another problem of the same spectrum, right? Now, what I always say when it comes to setting healthy boundaries, if you are one of those people who have been here in this extreme for a long time, it might be the case that you need to go a little bit to the other side, like maybe not all the way to the other extreme, but it might be that for a short period of time, you have to say no to some things and be strict and be firm, so you can go back to balance, so you can learn, so you can kind of rebuild your power and then go back to balance. It's like rebuilding, I don't know, when you're sick and you're rebuilding your body and rebuilding your health, and you're eating specific foods, and maybe you're eating a lot and you're resting a lot, and your focus is on on recovering, and maybe you're not focusing on doing work, on social activities. It's not sustainable. It's something you do for a short period of time just to recover from having been sick or something like that, or from a stressful period of time, and you just prioritize yourself, and then you go back to your normal routine where you can do lots of activities and work and social life and whatever is going on for you. So at the beginning, I'm going to invite you to be strict with the people you let in, with the things, events, relationships that you say yes to. And the thing is that at the beginning, when you start setting boundaries, the other part is not going to like it, because it's going to feel different. And human beings in general don't like change. Change is risky. We like safety. That's our human instinct, right? Always looking for safety. That's like a primal survival instinct, to look for safety. Change is risky. Whatever you have been doing so far, even if it's a negative pattern, or if it's unhealthy or harmful, but it has kept you alive. So anything that is new, there's going to be resistance. There's always going to be a bit of instinct to show resistance towards it. So you have to be prepared to see that resistance in other people. And if your mom wants to call you 3 times a day to check in with you and to tell her about your day, and if you suddenly say, Mom, I'm not available for calls 3 times a day, this is what I'm available for from now on, yeah, she's not going to like it. If your boss is used to you staying late every day and you are the go-to person to say, oh, we just had a last minute problem, can you stay and fix it? And suddenly you say, no, sorry, I'm not staying, I'm not staying late today, can't stay late today, or the rest of the week, or from now on, this is the time I need to leave. There's going to be a reaction there, right? What? But this was the dynamic, right? Because every time there is a hook or a dynamic, when someone tries to pull away, the other one is like, wait, no, we have been on this dynamic that has worked for us for a long time. Why will you change it now? And you've probably noticed, if you have been doing inner work or personal development or healing, you have probably noticed that as you step more and more into your power, and that you leave behind all ways of thinking and feeling and behaving, and you want to do things differently, people around you, especially your closest loved ones, might not like it, might be question what you're doing, and they must start saying things like, oh, you're weird, you're changing, you're different now, you never used to be like that. And it has that negative connotation, and you've probably noticed this happening again because maybe naturally you're setting boundaries and you're filtering what's good for you and what's not, and then the other party obviously notices it and wants to continue the old dynamic. So yeah, so setting boundaries is not easy. It can be quite painful, actually, because you might have to say no to people you really, really love and you really, really care about. But at the end of the day, you being the rescuer is only going to make them a victim. Listen to this again. You trying to rescue them, it's only making them a victim. It's disempowering for them. You're not doing them any service. You're not doing them any good by staying in the rescuer role and allowing them to keep themselves a victim. I know this is a hard one to swallow, and then it's their choice, of course. They can choose to, like, okay, so she's not rescuing me anymore, so maybe I can't take on the victim role anymore and I have to do something for myself. Or they might want to try to look for another rescuer, and start another hook, another unhealthy dynamic. That's up to them. You're not responsible for what other people do. You are responsible for what you do. But being in that rescuing, overhelping, saving mode is not good for anyone. Very often when I talk about the drama triangle, again, the three roles are the rescuer, victim, and persecutor. Some people take pride in saying, oh yeah, I'm a rescuer. It feels like being a rescuer is being a good person, right? Whether the persecutor is a bad person. And the victim, yeah, it's not a bad person, but it's also not a great state to be in. But it feels like the rescuer is just because I'm a good person, I have a big heart. But it's not a healthy role either. It's not a healthy role. It's not that one role is better than the other. It's still not a healthy dynamic. Because in order for someone to be a rescuer, there has to be a victim. None of them are good. None of those roles are healthy. So it's not that one is better than the other. And actually, by trying to rescue someone, it can be very disempowering. I have been, we all switch from one role to another, depending on who we are interacting with, depending on the time of the day, depending on the situation or the circumstances. So when I see that I'm becoming the victim, or that someone wants to be the rescuer with me, I find it really annoying, really, really annoying, because it's taking me out of my power. When someone wants to come and rescue me, I'm like, well, I don't need you to rescue me. I'm perfectly fine on my own. Maybe if I need help, I will let you know. If I need anything, I will let you know. But someone coming and trying that, oh yeah, I'll do this for you. Oh yeah, no worry. What do you want me to do? No, this is what you need to do. Don't worry about it. It can feel very disempowering. And I know, again, this comes from your best intentions. I know that. Obviously, we don't do this on purpose, right? We don't start this unhealthy dynamics, because we want to, and because we're bad people. That's not how things work. We always try our best. I always say that we always make decisions and we always take action based on the resources we have available at the moment. I don't believe in good people or bad people. We make decisions based on the experiences we've had, the view we have about the world. But it is important to keep that in mind, because sometimes saying no to someone is not only good for you, because you can be more in your power, and then you can be if you help them, then it can be from a place of love, and you're going to be doing your own healing and your own growth. So it's not only good for you, it's good for them, because sometimes by breaking a pattern, they learn to do something different. Now, they might not, and that's their choice, and you're not responsible for that. But sometimes saying no to someone is not only beneficial for you, but for them, because it can make them aware of a pattern they weren't aware of. It can push them to make a different decision, to make a different choice. So I know that this is easier said than done. I know that this is not easy to do, but the way to start is baby steps, one thing at a time. Identify the ones that are priority. So far we have been working on understanding boundaries, identifying the areas or the people you would like to set more boundaries to, what the stoppers are, any beliefs, any programming, any triggers, and how to resolve that. Now, to start putting that into practice, start with baby steps. Maybe choose the one that is more of a priority for you, or maybe choose with something that would be easy, and try with something that is easy and see how that feels. It's like when you go to the gym, you don't start using the most complicated equipment from day one, right? You try a little bit, maybe you try the treadmill, maybe you go to a guided class because it's easier. You don't start doing all the weights and using machines you've never seen before. So try something that is easy, something that feels attainable, so you can start getting used to that. Like everything, it's there is a learning curve, right? So yeah, try step by step, and yeah, at the beginning, remember that there might be resistance from the other party. So you might want to stay firm, or maybe explain it to them with love. Sometimes an honest conversation can be so useful, and can be so healing for both parties, right? And then from there, it's about coming to that balance where you can offer your help for people who need it, and for people who ask it, not for people you think that need your help, for people who ask for your help or who want your help. Not to rescue, not to save, to help. And then you can go to that balance where you are healing, you're in a good position physically, mentally, emotionally. You're in a position where you can help, and you offer your help and your availability just out of love and kindness. But also, when you have to say no, there are no stoppers, there are no limiting beliefs or programs or triggers or no survival mechanisms triggering the decision to be available for everyone else. And you've probably heard when you're on a plane that if, I don't know what's the pressure decreases, I don't know exactly, but when you have to put the mask on, the oxygen mask on, you first put yours on, and then you help other people. And this, I know, is very counterintuitive, especially if you have kids and you're like, oh no, but the first person that needs to have the mask is my kid or my husband or whoever, But if you don't have yours on, how are you going to help them? So there is also that element of having replenished your energy and knowing, discerning if you are in a place from which you can help. Because sometimes we want to give and give more and give more and help more and be there for everyone, when our batteries are going just lower and lower, and we never charge our batteries. And that only ends in burnout, frustration, depression, feeling resentful. That never ends well. Never, never, never ends well, especially if you keep it for long periods of time. So the more you come to that balance, the more you will know to discern if you are in a place from which you can offer that help and be there for others. And if you are not, then once you identify and clear the programming, then there's no guilt in saying, you know what, I can't be there with you today in your birthday party. I'm not gonna answer this call because I'm not in a position from which I can help. I don't have enough battery to charge your phone. Right? It's like when you're having 20% of your battery and someone is saying, oh, can you give me some of your power for my phone? Because I would like to get it to 100%. I'm going to be out for the day. And you're like, yeah, sure. Take my battery. What's going to happen to the phone? Not going to last long, is it? So think about yourself as a phone. And before you feel the urge to be available for someone else, or when someone asks or demands something of you, think about yourself as a phone. Okay, how much battery do I have left? If it's less than 50%, you're not in a position to help anyone else. I mean, I'm not talking, of course, one of your loved ones being in hospital, and yeah, of course, oh, you know what? I really need to prioritize my sleep tonight. So yeah, so I'm not going to be here for you, knowing that probably you're not going to make it beyond tonight. I mean, there are exceptions where you might be really tired and you might want to still show up for others, but not on a regular basis. And always knowing that that's an exception and that you will have time to recover. But if you live your life constantly on a 20% battery and just giving out more and more and more without recharging, well, you know what happens to your phone when you don't charge it. You don't want that happening to you. So guys, let me know how this is landing. Let me know in the comments if you try that, how that goes. I would love to know if you enjoyed the session, and if you enjoyed this format, by the way, because this is something new for me. So just to know if I will be doing more of this, if this is something that you find useful, that you enjoy watching. So yeah, let me know, guys. And yeah, I'm going to invite you to, if you enjoyed this video and you want to know more about what I do, I'm going to invite you to join my free 7-day course, Step Into Your Power with Confidence and Joy. It's a 7-day course, so you receive one lesson each day, 15-20 minutes a day, to show you the process I use with my one-on-one clients to help them step into their power so they can create a more authentic and joyful life. So it will show you how to get clarity around your big vision. It will help you identify any resistance, any hidden blocks, those annoying ones that keep you stuck and you're not very aware of them and you never know what they're about. It has some powerful healing techniques to rewrite those stories and those programs. And it also has some lessons about connecting with your inner wisdom, your inner power, and your higher guidance. So yeah, that's free for you to join. I will leave a link on the description below. And of course, if you are ready, if you're feeling the call to do the deep inner work, my one-on-one healing coaching program, Reclaim Your Power, will help you do that deep reprogramming and healing so you can see long-lasting and deep transformation. So especially if you have been doing some personal development before and trying lots of things, but you're not seeing the transformation that you're expecting, is probably because you're using maybe some superficial techniques that are not getting you the results that you really need. So feel free to have a look at my program and book a free discovery session with me. If you would like to know more about it, all the links will be in the description below. And for now, take care, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you around very, very soon. Take care, my loves. Bye-bye.